guys, this is Rurouni K95 here, and once again, it is time for a manga review. Today's manga review, we're going to be reviewing Inuyasha Volume 2 for today's manga review as well. So the story on Volume 2 of Inuyasha takes place where it was left off in the previous volume on the first volume of Inuyasha, where it all begins to begin with, is how Yura, who is the hair of the demon, has so many skull heads everywhere. Probably she's basically the hair demon girl, so that's what she does as well. So we get to see where Inuyasha and Kagome went back into the feudal era after how it comes by and till something attacks Inuyasha and Kagome, especially things that look like hair. You know what I mean, hair? Usually like this as well. It's what you see in there because Inuyasha knows it was Yura of the hair demon as well from all along, as how the story goes on. Because and Inuyasha notices that these dead bodies on there, saying that there was like rogue samurais that have been basically like blundered into the hair. Yeah, because that's what Inuyasha knows about it. And yeah, Kagome has her arrow from especially what you see going on in there. Especially for this manga, the few things is that Inuyasha has known who is causes behind all this, and the hair caught Inuyasha's wrist like this, especially what you see from there as well. From what I want to know about this, yeah, he has been captured by some sort of massive looking thing that looks like a ball of hair, especially what you see in this chapter in this manga, because it could be a stronghold of Yura as well, as how Inuyasha knows it was Yura of the hair all along in this one. For particular thing is that is the real reason that it was basically how the killing goes in this chapter, where she uses like a comb thing as a weapon when Inuyasha was trying to struggle to battle his way through, but he was being captured by those types of hair, especially, and she has like a dagger blade weapon which almost attacks Inuyasha with it, is what you noticed in that one, of how the story goes. But then Kagome has to use the bow and arrow just to kill it as well. But all of a sudden there's skull heads and hair, as you noticed, of how the story progresses, of how this thing goes, especially these dead carcasses, of how the dilemma goes as well, which is almost not in a good way, especially what you find in the chapter of, and Inuyasha always has the claws of blood, but which it barely cuts off Yura's hand, which is basically how it just goes. But then Inuyasha uses his claws thing from his hands like a weapon, just to destroying all the skull heads with hair on it. It's what he does, because he's a half demon. But then a hand with a dagger weapon or some sort of sword, what you see like that cut through the back on Inuyasha on there. But then it was no use of how it was going until this happened going on. If you noticed in there throughout this manga chapter like this on Inuyasha as well, from what he has known, especially the soul transfer going on comes, even though Inuyasha has like blood in his hand and all, and then that Kagome wanted to save Inuyasha all along, and yeah, that's the thing. But then how he wanted to destroy those skull heads with the hair on it, and then Inuyasha cuts another arm of Yura. Well, again, until she got her other arm back of this, when she's on top of those skull heads as well. Kagome has found the red skull, because these hairs were tied to Yura's hand, but that wasn't long until she just kills the red skull, which is the fate of Yura, which causes her to be defeated until they got the something of how the defeating comes of what Inuyasha did as well. But then, because Kagome has defeated Yura by using the arrow that she used on the red skull, and then which causes her to die as well, especially Yura's fate as well. But then he got the Shikon Jewel. The days have come, and the coming appearance of Inuyasha's brother Sesshomaru comes as well as the appearance, including his master Jacken as well, because that's how the arrival comes. And by after Yura's been defeated on the events as how it's happening, when Kagome comes by to see if Inuyasha is there, especially on a fight, but Inuyasha wants to relax, but Kagome said sit, and then Inuyasha lands on his face on the ground. You guessed it, because he has a necklace on the neck as well. From what, especially what he remembers as well, from what you noticed in there. Especially in there. And also, the soul of, he always keep having memories of how his mother, the face of his mother, of how he had in the past as well, back in the feudal, until the appearance of Sesshomaru first appeared, and Inuyasha knew it was Sesshomaru as well. Because that's how the story progresses goes, as of how there was the faceless woman, which is some sort of a trick. Inuyasha thought he found his mother, but it was basically a trick and disguise, which is a faceless looking woman, as how the story progresses in Inuyasha comes as well, from and that's how Inuyasha and Kagome try to battle against the faceless looking woman as well, until the Black Pearl and appears on chapter 7 on there. When he wanted to know, yes, the left Black Pearl, especially about how Sesshomaru appeared as what you see in this volume of Inuyasha. To believe as how this goes. Now, if this were the previous, then that's how things just come by, of how and this is the conflict battle between the brother rivalry between Inuyasha and Sesshomaru, especially on this chapter in this manga as well. Things just come in quite difficultly well, and that's how Inuyasha had to save Kagome, though. And then they entered that skull head thing, looked like an animal. like what you see in this chapter of Inuyasha. So that's how basically things just come in cheerfully, though, is that it was the Fang of Steel in this location where Sesshomaru has found Inuyasha, because Inuyasha and Kagome must have followed it to the... has been picking up the scent as well. And that's how the battle between Inuyasha and Sesshomaru goes. When Inuyasha wanted to get the sword just to have a conflict duel between him and Sesshomaru, of how the story progresses, as how what you notice in there from how this thing goes. Yeah, Inuyasha has got the sword. It's basically of how he wants to end the fight. He still has the battle against his brother Sesshomaru, and that's how the coming of the transformation of Sesshomaru comes, when Inuyasha knew that he's still conflicting battle with Sesshomaru as well. And then that's how the transformation comes of what Sesshomaru has got. During the battle between him and Inuyasha as well, how. And then he transforms into this full demon-like creature that looks like some sort of an animal-looking demon, as you noticed in that one. During when Inuyasha has the battle between him and Sesshomaru's full demon form, when he has the sword, just so he can have the credibility to battle Sesshomaru with his sword. And then he defeated Sesshomaru with that sword, because Sesshomaru is in his full demon form. What you see in this chapter on this manga like this, from how this goes. And now it's becoming the Tetsaiga, So Inuyasha has defeated Sesshomaru's full demon form with his Tetsaiga, as you noticed in this particular chapter like this, of how it's progressing, of how it goes. And Inuyasha has defeated Sesshomaru in his full demon form as well. The next day comes, and Kagome, who was saved as well, wanted to know about the sword with a ask from Lady Kaede as well. So that's how Kagome came to see Inuyasha, and then wanted to know about the Tetsaiga, but Inuyasha didn't knew about how he doesn't want to be that he could fight anyone to keep those from the shards, especially those shards of how the Shikan Jewel, as how it was intended. Then Kagome stormed off after Inuyasha, after she tells Inuyasha sit as well. So that's my review on Volume 2 of Inuyasha. The story was great. It takes off after the first volume of how it progresses for Inuyasha. The stories is great. The characters are great, because I really admire the battle between Inuyasha and Sesshomaru, and Sesshomaru is in his full demon form as well, how it goes. Yeah, the characters are well done in this in this manga as well. Because this is the first time I wanted to review Volume 2 of Inuyasha for the first time, for this manga review. Because it's created by Rumiko Takahashi, who had a lot to do for this work on this. So that's going to be it for my manga review for today, because I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinion, because this is an outstanding series, and it's highly recommended as well. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan, link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter, Facebook, if you have Twitter and Facebook account, on all social media. Smack the like button if you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave it in the comments section below in this video if you like as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Smack the notifications bell button, and keep it otaku for this manga review, because this is the first time I wanted to review Inuyasha Volume 2 manga. This is Rurouni K95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day. This is Rurouni K95 signing off, and thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos.